there. Okay, we're going to record this. That's not much. Now, do you have any special questions, any special issues that you want to address?
I wanted to review some of the questions in the homework.
Okay.
Just because I had some problems, especially with like the regression questions with them in terms of like the regression equation that appeared on
The
the
what
quiz.
equation?
So I had questions I think it's called regression equations.
Regression?
Yes,
Okay, all right. Okay,
yes,
so
and I wish I was able to see the question on the homework question again, so I can point out which ones I had
yeah,
more trouble with.
I will share the screen right away.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Share the screen. Right. That's the homework assignment that is due on the 11th. Am I correct?
No, the ones due last week.
The one that was due last week. The one that
Yeah,
was
the
due on the
ones due
4th.
basically. Well, yeah. Well, you made them due on the 7th now, but yeah, those.
Okay. Okay. So I'm going to well, look at that.
Mhm.
Okay. Are you seeing the screen?
Yes, I am. Thank you so much.
Okay. So this is the required homework we're talking about.
Mhm. Yes.
Okay. Going to see.
Hmm.
Okay.
Hmm.
Right. Let's see. Okay. Going to.
Good night, Professor. Hi, Guan. How are you?
Oh, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Okay. I'm looking at the question.
Yeah. So that one will be the first one I had a lot of trouble with.
Assuming the price per unit of a certain item to consumers given by the equation D is equal to 35 minus 0.10x, where x is the number of units in demand. The price per unit the supplier is given by the equation is S is equal to 0.2x plus 20, where x is the number of units supplied. Find the equilibrium quantity. All right, now, this kind of problem, what you need to do, you see, say the equilibrium, when we talk about it in economics, in business, is where the quantity supplied is equal to the quantity demanded. And essentially what it means is if you set a price of, say, $10 a piece, and buyers are willing to pay only 8, then you're not going to be able to sell, okay? And so you're not going to be able to sell as much. Some buyers will buy it at 10, others will not be able to afford it at 10. And so you are provided to sell 20, and buyers are prepared to buy only 18. But when you reduce the price to 9, then the 20 that you are prepared to sell may be equal to the quantity that buyers want to buy. And so we say that's equilibrium, okay? And then the question is, what quantity is it that the buyers will buy at 9? And the quantity that buyers want to buy at 9 will be equal to the quantity that sellers want to sell at 9. And so what you do mathematically is to set the two equations equal to each other. So 35 minus 0.10x will be equal to 0.2x plus 20. And then you solve for x. And so let us see, for example, how we could do that. What I'm going to do is, let me see if I can get the whiteboard here. See. See, we're going to be able to use the whiteboard that way. Okay. See, these systems change from time to time, and so something that you want to do cannot do. Oh, okay, I see a pen here. Okay. Let's see if I can. Okay, so what we do here is we equate 35, have to be patient, minus 0.1x. And so the quantity that buyers want to buy is equal to the quantity that sellers want to sell. That means that the two equations should be the same, equals to 20 plus 0.2, right? So now the two equations are the same. That is, the buyer's equation becomes equal to the seller's equation. So you achieve equilibrium. That is where the two lines intersect. Okay. So at what point did the two lines intersect? Now remember that they say that X is the quantity that buyers want to buy. Okay. All right. So X is the number of units, and the price per unit is given by the equation, this and that. So where X is the number that the quantity that sellers want to sell, or buyers want to buy. So what you do then is you solve this equation for X. Do you know how to solve the equation?
Hi, Professor. I don't mean to cut you. I don't. Are you there?
Yeah, are you hearing me?
Yeah, I'm hearing you. How did you come with 35 minus 0.1x? Isn't it 0.10x right here?
Yeah, the 0.10x is 0.1, 0.10. It's not 0.01.
Okay.
Now remember, there's a difference between 0.01 and 0.10.
Okay.
Okay.
So
This is point. Let me see if I can erase it.
so the terminology equilibrium is saying that these are both equal, correct?
Okay, let us get to that. Okay.
Okay.
Let me change this to 0.0. Does it make more sense to you now?
Yes, it does.
This is 0.20. Okay. When you see 0.2, it means 0.20. And it's different 0.02. 0.02 simply is 2 out of 100. 0.20 is 20 out of 100. So 0.2 is 0.20. You get it?
Yes.
Okay. So he said, what you're asking, ask your question again so that I can clarify it.
The question I just asked about the equilibrium?
Yeah.
So we're saying that finding the equilibrium is saying that both equations are equal. That's why you have the equal sign, correct?
Well, it's not that most equations are equal, it's that you have to understand the concept, the issue that is being addressed here, okay? before you
Mhm.
join, it says, assume that the price it says, assume that the price per unit of a certain item is given by the equation D is equal to 35 minus 10x, where x is the number of units in demand. Who is demanding? The buyers, am I correct?
Yes.
So somebody that is demanding is somebody that is buying, right? That's
Yes.
what we call demand in economics. The person that is buying is the person that is demanding, okay? The price per unit from the supplier, right? See, the consumer is the buyer, the supplier is the seller. So the supplier's equation is given by S is equal to 0.2x plus 20. So there's the supplier and there is the buyer, the consumer. Are we okay up to that point? Okay.
Yes.
So the whole objective here is that we want to ask ourselves, at what point, at what price is the buyer? That is the question. At what point is the buyer in agreement with the seller? If I want to sell something to you for $10, you say, I cannot buy it. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Or for $10, I can only buy 10. I say, hey, wait a minute. I want to sell 50. So, well, you have to reduce the price. Am I correct? Okay.
Yes.
If you reduce the price
Mm-hmm.
to 7, I will buy, instead of buying 10, I'll buy 25. If you reduce the price to 6, then I might buy 50. So that is equilibrium. Now, that is what happens in the marketplace. You get it? So,
Yes, I'm with you.
okay. So if the equation for the seller is that, and the equation for the buyer is that, the question is, at what price and what quantity will they agree? That's what we call equilibrium in the marketplace. You get it?
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
And so now, in order to solve the equation, so the buyers must agree with the sellers. So we achieve equilibrium. Okay?
Okay.
So now, what we have to do then is to solve this equation to find the equilibrium x, right? So then, you know how we solve an equation like this? We subtract 20 from this side, and we subtract 20 from that side. What do we have? We have that 15 is equal to, now, so once you subtract 20 from this side, this becomes a 0. Are we correct?
Mm-hmm.
And so when we subtract 20 from this side, we have 15. And then we have to then add 10 here to make this a 0.10x. Okay, remember this is a point, 0.10x. And we also add 0.10x here. All right, so then 15 is equal to 0.30. And so what is x? X then becomes, if you divide each side now by 0.30,
15. Oh,
and you divide that side by 0.30, So x becomes, this becomes 1. When 0.30 divide 0.30, you get 1. Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay, anything that divides itself is 1.
Mhm.
So then x becomes 15 divided by 0.30. So can you use your calculator to tell me what x is?
X is equals to 50.
X is equal to
50.
See? Going to verify that. Right? Right. So x is equal to 50. And so this is what you have here. Okay. So now x is 50. All right. So it says the supply is 0.2x plus 20. And so suppose you then S, when x is 50, 0.2x times 50, 0.2 times 50 is what?
20.
0.2.
20, am I correct? So 20 plus 20. Okay. And 35.
I mean, what did we multiply to get 20?
And you see
0.25
the
times 50?
equation, the equation here says that S is 0.2x plus 20. Am I correct?
Oh, I see.
Okay. So 35
0.2x
minus 0.1 times 20. What is 0.1 times 20?
I'm not past when you said x is equal to. So x
let's-
is 50. So we're
Let's let me erase this. We are seeing here that the equilibrium quantity is 20. Is that correct? Because it says
yeah.
X is the number of units in demand. All right?
Yes.
Okay. So that means we have reached the conclusion that at the quantity of 20, demand is equal to supply. Right? X, okay, X is 20. And so at that point, if you say 35 minus 0.1, 0.1 is, X is 50. Okay, X is 50. Okay, sorry. So 35 minus 0.1 times 50, 0.1 times 50 is 5. 35 minus 5 is 30. And then S is 0.2 times 50. 0.2 times 50 is 10 plus 20, which is 30. So let us now see that the equations actually balance. Okay, so we take we're going to take 35 minus 0.10. Remember that x is now 50. We know what x is. So solve that equation and let us see what we get. Okay. Okay, what is 0.1 times 50? Solve it in your calculator. 0.10 times 50. What do you get?
I got 5.
Okay, 35 minus 5 is what?
30.
Very good. Let us solve the other equation. 0.20 times 50 plus 20. What is 0.20 times 50?
Ten?
10. So if we take 10 plus 20, what do we get?
30.
30. You get it? So when you plug in 50 into x for both equations, what you get is 30. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Okay, because when we did this, the demand equation 35 minus 0.10 times 50, we got 30. When we, because here we had 35 minus 5 equals 30.
Mm-hmm.
You get it? Okay, so
Yeah.
x, the quantity is 50. And the price, you can see that the price, when you put it, when you look at S and you look at D, now both of them give you 30 when you plug 50 into X, when you replace X with 50. So now the answer then will be that equilibrium price is 30 and equilibrium quantity is 50. The equilibrium price is not 35, so only 30 and 50 are the two corresponding things. At a price of 30, the quantity is 50. Okay, so let me show you what is. So this is what we are looking at. This is the quantity. And this is the price. So for the buyers, it goes downwards because it's 35 minus 0.1x. So as x is going up, the quantity goes down, right? And for the sellers, the quantity goes that way. So this is the supply, this is the demand. And so here at a price of 30, the quantity is 50. This is what you just solved with your equation. You find out that at a price of 30, the quantity is 50, and there is no surplus in the market. Because if you put the price too high, what is going to happen? If you put the price there, and so the buyers will buy less, and the sellers if you put the price there, so you're going to have too much in the market. All right, so this is what you just resolved by solving that equation. All right. All right, somebody brought up this question and it kind of like addresses a whole lot of what you read in the materials for this class.
I went back to look at the first week, of which I wasn't able to complete because it was just all new to me, and all the material is gone. How do we retrieve that material so that I can go over it and really understand the content?
Okay, so the way you can do it right now is I can go and reopen it. Okay, send me an email and I will reopen the assignment. If you want to go and redo it, go and redo it.
It's more practice for me so that I can understand the content. Let's
I am trying to. Okay.
let me see if I can get back.
Okay.
So
So does somebody have another question? I mean, did you understand what we just did?
Well, I understood solving the equation, but I didn't understand why you chose. I didn't understand why you chose 20 to divide both sides. I know there's a law, but I really don't remember the law.
Why did I
And
choose 20 to divide both sides?
Yes.
Where did I divide both sides by 20?
When you were trying to make the equation smaller, when you had 35 minus 0.1, 10x equal to 20 plus 0.2x.
Okay.
You
So
divided
let me go through it again so that you can say at what point you needed help, okay? Or where at what point you say you don't understand why I divided both sides by 20. I'm going to start all over. Okay.
do you want to move on to another question? I don't want
No,
to
no.
like
Let's clarify this, because if you go away and we don't clarify it, we had 35
right.
minus 0.10x, and we said the buyers must agree with the sellers. Am I correct?
Right.
0.20x
Plus 2,
on
20.
20. Are we correct?
Yes. So
And here, the buyers must agree with the sellers, right?
yes.
Okay. And so if the buyers must agree with the sellers, we're trying to solve this equation and find what is X, which is what is the quantity. Because say X is the quantity that buyers want to buy. The consumers want to buy X. The sellers want to sell X. But what is this quantity where X is the same thing on both sides? The only way we can find it is to make the two equations equal. Okay, so where did I divide by 20?
Or subtracted, I mean, not divide, subtracted by 20.
Okay, so because we want to bring all the x's on one side and all the regular numbers on the other side. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so in order to bring all the regular numbers on one side and all the x's on one side, we first of all subtract 20 from both sides. Right? So that this becomes
And why is 20 the chosen number again? Like, why can it be?
You can use 35. You can use 35, but if you use 35, you're going to get a negative number and you're going to get more confused.
Okay.
You get the idea?
Yes.
So you subtract 20 on this side, you subtract 20 on that side. If you do it, if you subtract 20 on this side, what do you get? 20 minus 20 is what?
0. You have nothing left there.
Good. And so now you have 15 on this side. You get it?
Yeah, I'm with you now.
Okay. So now you do the same thing for the x. Because this is a negative number. To make it a 0, you add 0.1 x on this side, so that this side also becomes 0, because you want to put all the x's on one side. And so you also add 0.10 on that side. So 0.10x minus 0.10x will give you what?
0.
That is 0. And so 15 becomes equal to 0.30. You see that? So now you have x
Yeah.
on one side and regular number on the other side. Get the idea?
Yeah.
Okay. So now you want to find x. In order to find x, you want to reduce this x here to 1x. You don't want it to be a fraction of an x or a multiple of an x. You don't want it to be 30x. You don't want it to be 0.3x. You want it to just be 1x. You get it now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Since 0.3 is multiplying x, 0.3 is multiplying x. So that means you must divide the x side by 0.3. If you divide any number by itself, what do you get?
1.
1. You must also divide this side by 0.3. Also divide this side by 0.3. And so, when you divide 0.3 by itself, this is 0.30. So when you divide 0.3 by itself, what you get then is that x becomes
That number
50.
that you divide 0.3. Yes.
So now you divide 15 by 0.3. Okay. Let me make it clear that that is a 15. Okay. So x is now 0.15 divided by 0.3. So if you divide 15 by 0.3, that's how we got 50. Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay. So x is 50. All right. So x is 50. That means that the buyers want to buy 50 and the sellers want to sell 50. Now, if the buyers want to buy 50 and the sellers also want to buy 50, that means the price is the same thing for both sides. And that is how we now, and so x becomes 50. So now we plug 50 into x on both equations. And when we did that, what did we get?
We got 30.
Got 30. So that means then that equilibrium price is 30 and equilibrium quantity is 50. You get the idea?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that solves that problem. So it's not clear to you what we did.
Yes, it is clear what we did today.
Right. Okay.
I'm trying to
So-
see if I can find last week's because I haven't started this week's as yet because I feel I don't want to get stuck along the way.
No, because if you get stuck along the way, it doesn't do us any good.
Yeah, it says the course link item is unavailable.
Um,
So I'm not sure.
okay. So now, what's the other question?
Let me go to weekly assignments and let's open.
You say what?
I'm going to this week's assignment. I'm gonna open up practice two.
So Vera, are you still there?
Yes, I'm still here, Professor.
Okay. Do you have any question while she's figuring out her own question?
That one was the first one. Let me see. Keep going. No, that one.
Can we do this question so maybe we can get into the group of things? Here. Luan, did you find any you want to go over? Or I could go ahead.
You can go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. Professor, I am under practice problems.
Huh?
I'm under practice problems.
Which
The
practice problems?
the first question one, a company's revenue and cost in dollars are given by R. So I wanted to do this one with the same method we just did for that previous question we worked on. And let's see if I can
Uh,
get some kind of
That's this question number 2?
It's question number 1.
No, question number 1 is the one we just did.
We're on week 1 or week 2? I'm on week 2.
There's a question number 2 where you have revenue and cost.
I am on the practice problems. Optional but suggested.
Okay, okay. Optional. So let me then come up with this.
Weekly assignments, then grasp behavior linear function.
See,
Let me just go to the reading and resources. So.
these are practice problems here.
Let me go to your screen all 1 second.
You say what?
We're on I'm trying to see your screen now. Okay, I can see your screen now.
See if I can make my screen bigger.
I can see just fine.
Okay. Which practice problem do you?
Well, I was doing the practice problem, the ones that are just optional, but we can work on one of these. That's fine.
There any particular one that you had a problem with?
The one we're not on the one that we were on my computer. Can you go back, please? Go back to the main page.
Go back to what?
Go back to this week's assignment so that we can show you exactly what I'm talking about.
Go back to where we were before the assignment, the
The
assignment you have
main
to
like
submit?
go to weekly assignments.
Okay.
Oh. Okay, then we go to week 2, right? Scroll down.
You're talking about week 1 or week 2? Because we were in week 1.
Week 1. I was talking about week 2 because I no longer have access to week 2 to the week 1. But since we're on it, yeah, we can go to that. Yeah, since we're on it, we can go to the week 1. I don't have
Okay.
access to week 1. Scroll
Like I
down.
said, I will reopen it.
Okay, thank you. Is it gonna be a time limit on how long I'm gonna have access?
Yes, I mean, there's going to be a time limit, but I will reopen it up, put it another week. Just
Yeah, that's
send
fine.
me an
Another
email to remind me because I'm going to forget.
Yeah, I will. Yeah, a week will be fine because when I get off here, I gotta get the kids ready for bed and get some rest. So,
That is the homework.
can we do another one? Just anyone.
This is the first one we did. So this is the one we were talking about, or you want to look at?
No, I wasn't on week 1 at all, but since you're here, then that's fine.
Yeah.
What is this
Okay.
question?
Yeah, which one do you want to talk about?
Yeah, scroll down. Scroll down. Okay, let's take this for example. How do we question number 2.
Okay.
Looking at the table closer. What is the quantity of
Okay. It
output?
says, let's read it together. It says,
Mhm.
looking at the table, profit, cost, and revenue functions. Quant is the quantity of output. C of Q is the total cost of production for corresponding quantities of output. R of Q is corresponding to revenue at each level of output. If all output is sold, PRF of Q is the total profit for each corresponding output level, right? So using the information, what is PRF of Q? What is the profit? I mean, when you sell, you get revenue. Whatever you sell costs you some money. And so your revenue minus your cost is your profit. Am I correct?
Mhm.
Okay. And so it says, what is PRF of 20? And so here you have PRF of 20. This is 20. So at PR at 20, your cost is 1,200. Your revenue is 1,250. What is your profit? If you
Okay.
sell for 1,250 and it costs you 1,200,
That's $50.
Huh?
That's $50?
so to make it easy for yourself, this is where the Excel practice comes in. Your profit is 50. I can take this. I'm going to stop share this. Stop share this. I will pull up an Excel file. I just copied it. Okay. Going to share my Excel screen. All right, there we go. Are you seeing my Excel screen? Let's see if we can make it bigger. Is it clearer now?
Yes.
Okay. And so your profit is your revenue minus your cost, right? And so you can go equals G6 minus your cost, which is F6. And here, you can drag it down. So at a quantity of 20, okay? At a quantity of 20 here, you can see your profit is 50. Or you can do a simple arithmetic. Your revenue is 1250, so you sold for 1250, but you bought for 1,200, or it cost you 1,200 if you manufactured it, or so your profit is 50.
Right.
Right? Okay. So, I mean, a lot of these problems are solved very simply in that way. Okay, I'm going to stop share this. All right. Do you have any other questions?
No, not at the moment.
All right. Okay. So I'm glad that you all came. So next week, I'll see everybody again, and I'm going to post this for the benefit of those who are not here today. Good night.
Okay. Good night. Thank you, Professor.
All right, good night, guys.